Thanks, Olivia, Fayad, and Mel for making today happen and for the introduction. Hi everyone, my name is Stephen Bediako, and I'm really proud to be joining for addressing Imbalance Live. I wish I was there in person. Hopefully we'll be soon. I was just gonna say a few words about the work, hopes for today, a bit about me, and why I support this important work. Excuse me. So I'm a social entrepreneur, and I started selling tea towels door to door in East London as a 12-year-old kid, and today really love to work on new ideas and build sustainable models while always doing good. So it's been an interesting journey. I've had the privilege of founding organizations like the Social Innovation Partnership, which does amazing work in the space, initiatives like Project Oracle, Center for Youth Impact, and in the US, I've had the privilege of founding organizations like Path Group and Turning Basin Labs. I'm a fan of the arts. I sit on board of the Barbican, and I've previously sat on the boards of Chance UK, Centre for London, and Unlimited, who are obviously a wonderful organisation working in this space. I've recently founded Black Global Trust, which is to support Black wealth creation, and I'm partnering with Bonnie and the Social Investment Consultancy and Kunle and Voice for Change to launch Pathway later this year, which is going to be a diverse-led wholesaler for the UK impact investment space. It's worth saying that obviously these are remarkable times. We face a lot of challenges, and whether it's the cost of living, health, digital inequality, how we travel, how we work, how we harness the UK's enterprising culture is going to be critical to how we get through the current cost of living crisis and the crisis that we face in our society, whether it's issues around racism, sexism, ableism, whatever it is. It's really going to be our curious and enterprising culture that gets us there. And so social enterprise is an important part of the enterprise family. As we try to address social issues while pursuing businesses. And so for me, I think it's important to be clear about what we mean by social impact, right? And so for me, it's quite simply the process of designing, delivering, and measuring things that we do in the world that aim to do social good, right? And actually, charities, businesses, social enterprises, movements, individuals can all have a social impact, right? And I think it's so important that at the heart of that is clarity about purpose, the purpose of doing things. And it's more than just working for money. It's about also being in service and serving the community. And obviously, we've just lost our queen. And I think regardless of your politics, you have to admire what an amazing leader she was, an amazing woman, probably one of the most remarkable women to have ever lived and one of the most remarkable leaders to have ever lived. And so, we honor her and we wish the best of luck to her son, King Charles. So, there are some challenges that we're facing today. And rather ironically, I think we face challenges like health and climate change and the isms I described and cost of living and housing. But yeah, we face a lot of challenges in the 2020s, and they faced a lot of challenges in the 1920s. But I think there are deeper challenges that we need to address rather than the ones that we see quite clearly and hear about, right? And I think social investment can be key to addressing these challenges. And not only could it play a role in helping to address them, it also needs to address them within social investment itself. And so I think one of the fundamental challenges is about how we relate to each other. And how we relate to each other is really important. If you just look at 20th century history for a second, in the post-World War II period, we saw some progression, right? We saw really the breakdown of certain old traditions, and we saw some progress. And then in the 60s, we saw more upheaval, and we saw a push through on civil rights, and we saw protests against wars, and a kind of sexual revolution. I think you saw a bit of a decline in the 70s, and I think we kind of went down a slightly different path in the 80s with the kind of Thatcher and Reagan years. And then I think we had a tiny golden period between 1995 and 2014 of a kind of Clinton, Blair, Obama period. And then since then, I think we've had a challenging time where we've allowed cronyism to rule, and we've kind of returned to an educated elite holding the keys to everything, and everyone else is simply along for the ride. So I'm a big history fan. I think it's important to understand the historical context around what we find ourselves in. And so charity and social enterprises in that context, I personally think, need to be in the business of building scalable and sustainable models of operation, and have a razor-sharp focus on their people and the communities they serve, right? Like funders are important, but actually it's the people and the communities we serve. And so in order to do that, and to kind of reduce that kind of funder chasing reliance, we need to be building business models as part of our organizations or alongside our organizations, if we're charities, that meet that need, And in order to do that, we must embrace investment and technology, And so that's why I think this work is important. That's why I think it's part of a historical context of our journey. And that's why it needs to be more diverse and more inclusive in the way that it functions. So it's time to open up enterprise for all. One way to do this is to make impact investment more accessible. And so here are 5 ideas from me to help make it more accessible. The first is we need more organizations where investment expertise is the enabler and not the leader, right? And so that's because, in my humble opinion, investment expertise does not always have, and does not usually have, the deep and instinctive understanding of the issues, right? And the nuance and the insights that social impact experts or people with lived experience will have. And so, I think investment expertise should be playing an enabling role, a platform role, not a leadership role, final decision-making role, and driving things. Secondly, investment is all about risk, yet we have a social investment space that is risk averse, and we need to move away from this. Because actually the use of investment, especially in its early stages and when it's smaller amounts, are about catalyzing and about taking risk. And this sector is focused on risk aversion and safe bets, and we need to change that. And so we need to be honest, right? Risk aversion and safe bets nudges you towards a more educated, a more professionalized, and potentially, a more homogenous and a more white type of enterprise leader, and we need to move away from that. The third thing is capacity building and investment readiness. I think that's only half the story, right? Because actually, we need more diverse actors involved in the critical components of the investment process. So that's things like investment committees, fund management, the research that helps shape the types of things that we invest in. This work needs many more diverse actors. It's not just about saying to communities that have not engaged in social investment, we need to get you ready and fatten you up like chickens so that you can be ready for the mighty impact investors. We need new diverse institutions led by diverse talent, willing and able and confident to invest in diverse entrepreneurs. And that's why, you know, I'm getting involved in developing a wholesaler with Voice for Change and the social investment consultancy. It's because we can't keep having people leading who need to get up to speed, right? Or who never quite do get up to speed, right? We need to stop interpreting issues for communities and allow communities to translate issues, insights, goals, objectives into impact investment for themselves. So, you know, we need more diverse SIFI leaders, more diverse fund managers, not just on the enterprise side. It's something I'm really passionate about. And finally, we don't need the status quo to get out of the way, jump overboard, or hand it all over. We just need the status quo to share some of the space, and then we can create more for everyone. And I think it's an important principle, right? Because this is about collaboration. We need to collaborate with people. We need to take them on a journey. As you can tell, I'm a reformist, not a revolutionist. And we need a multitude of voices to be heard. But at the center, we need social impact experts, lived experience, and those with the insights, you know, and actually maintaining the expertise and insights from experienced financial perspectives as part of the work. So to close for me, I'd love to see some deep debate exploring the most important issues that would help make impact investment more inclusive. I wish you luck in doing that. I challenge each and every person to ask a question in one of the sessions to get the answers to something that they want to know about, that's important to them. And my challenge to the whole group, to all of us, would be to identify the top 2 or 3 ideas on how to make impact investment much more inclusive. Then I'd love to see a commitment from everyone in the room, from Good Finance, from their backers, Access, BSC, others who might come on board to commit brainpower and resource towards making these solutions happen. But most importantly, I hope everyone just has a chance to connect, share their stories, and have fun. So yeah, that's it for me, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.